Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and I just realized I haven't made a Francese recipe yet. So I'm gonna do a Francese recipe, but in a risotto. So we're gonna make Risotto Francese. Now, what's Francese? Francese is now in case you don't know what Francese is, it's an Italian dish that is basically a lemon butter type sauce that like encrusts some chicken that's lightly breaded. Here we're not going to be doing any breading, but we're going to give that all of that wonderful lemony buttery Francese flavor into the most amazing risotto. You can add chicken if you want, you can add shrimp at the end if you want, you can even put some bacon bits in if you want. You'll see how to do all this, and it could not be easier or quicker or more luscious on the lips and on the palate. You're going to love it. Risotto Francese and my Shay and Shay Eisner. Let's do it. So the first thing I want to do is take a Spanish or yellow onion and dice it up. A key ingredient to a Francese are lemons, and I want this to be really deliciously lemony. I'm going to take 3 of these, and I've juiced it into a larger bowl because what I want to do now with a Francese, it's pretty much optimal in that dish, is add some eggs. And I want to take 4 large eggs and I want to crack those in. Can I snap this? Well. Alright, there we go. Now what I want to do is I want to just whisk this up in the lemon juice, and this is why I wanted a deeper bowl, because it's already spilling a little bit on the sides. You want to just be light with this, nothing too heavy with the beating of the eggs, just a nice whisk until all the yolks are just nice and combined with the lemon juice. Alrighty, perfect, nice and whisked and combined. Now I'm just going to set this aside and let it rest because we're not going to add this until the final touches of the dish. Now, Francese usually comes in a chicken or maybe even a shrimp variety, so this is optional. You don't have to add the chicken because you can keep it vegetarian if you don't, but I want to add some chicken to this, so I'm going to. Between 1 to 1.5 pounds of, you can use boneless, skinless breasts, thighs, or here I'm using tenderloins, which is what you use for chicken tenders. I'm just going to cut them into bite-sized pieces. And there we have it, all nice and sliced up. Again, it's optional, but I like to add it, so I'm gonna do that. All right, we're ready to cook, so let's move on to the Instant Pot. Okay, now it's time to add some butter. I'm adding 4 tablespoons or a half a stick of salted butter. Now let's go down to that pretty control panel on your Instant Pot. Hit the saute button, and don't worry about the time. Just always keep it at 30 minutes. That's the max that lets you saute, and then if it runs out of time, you can just re-saute and hit the button again. It's no big deal. At the high setting or the more setting, depending on your model. Now also depending on your model, you'll have to hit that start button to get going, or if you don't have a start button, after a few moments of doing nothing, it'll go into the function on its own. Different pots, different rules, but they all do the same thing. Alright, once our butter's melted and sizzling, we're going to add in our onion. And if you're using chicken, add that now too. And we're going to saute the onion and the chicken for about 3 minutes until the chicken becomes pinkish white, or if you're not using the chicken, until the onions become just slightly softened. About 3 to 5 minutes will do the trick. And you see that after about 3 to 5 minutes of sauteing, the chicken will be pinkish white in color. That's our cue, we're ready to go. We don't want that chicken fully cooked now, that'll happen when we pressure cook. I'm going to add in 5 cups of broth. You can use chicken broth, vegetable broth, garlic broth, whatever broth you enjoy. And now comes the time we add our rice. I'm adding 2 cups of arborio rice. You can also use carnaroli rice. It doesn't make a difference really which one you want to use. Arborio is easier to find, but you have to really use one of the 2 to make a risotto. Just white rice or like a long grain white or a jasmine or a basmati or a brown rice won't do the trick for this. It does make a difference. Believe me on that. It changes everything. Risotto must be made with arborio or carnaroli rice, and we also don't have to rinse it. We just add it right to the pot. And I'm going to give it just a little bit of a submerge in there. I'm not really going to stir it, just like that is just fine. And I'm going to secure my lid and we're going to pressure cook. I'm going to put my lid on. Make sure that I'm in the sealing position. On some models it'll automatically seal for you, but if it doesn't, make sure that nozzle's in the sealing position. Alright, now let's go back to our control panel and hit the cancel button or the keep warm / cancel button if your model shares that, and then hit the pressure cook button or the manual button depending on your model. And then we're going to go for 6 minutes at high pressure, and that's it. Let's do it! And now that we're done pressure cooking, we'll perform a quick release. And the pin just dropped, so we're going to take our lid off. And there's our risotto. Okay, let's get in there and give everything a stir. You see how creamy and wonderful this looks already. But we have some finishing touches. Let's give the pot some heat. Now I'll come down on my control panel and hit that saute button and make sure I'm on the more or high setting. If my pot has a start button, I gotta hit that. If it doesn't, it'll start on its own after a few moments of doing nothing. Once the pot begins to bubble a bit like that, we wanna take our egg lemon mixture and just pour it in and then just stir that up with the risotto. The egg is gonna cook relatively quickly because everything is really hot that's in the pot right now. We wanna stir this for about 2 minutes until the egg cooks through and gets nice and incorporated with that creamy risotto. Stir and let it rest and do this for about like 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. And make sure you scrape the bottom of the pot while you're doing that because the egg's gonna have a tendency to wanna stick to the bottom. Again, after 2 to 3 minutes, their egg will be cooked through, you're fine, you're good. Now what I wanna do is add a few final touches. I wanna add 1/4 cup of a cream or a half and half, as well as between 1 cup to 1.5 cups of grated Parmesan cheese. However much you want to add is up to you. It's certainly going to thicken things up in the pot a bit. And also add a wonderful cheesy flavor. If you want to keep this dairy-free, simply omit the Parmesan and cream, and instead of butter in the beginning, just use some olive oil. So I'm just going to stir this up for about another minute, then I'll kill the heat, and then we'll serve it up. By the way, if you want this with shrimp, add some shrimp right now as well. Just make sure it's raw and thawed if it was frozen, and peeled, of course. Feel free to add that right now too, why not? I love chicken and shrimp Francese, make it both. Alright, now we are ready to serve this amazing Francese risotto up. Here's a bowl. I love risotto so much. It holds together so nicely, it's so creamy, it's literally the pasta of the rice world, and this is just going to be one of the most heavenly, heavenly dishes. That'll be great as a side or a main. Make sure you get some chicken in there. If you want some bacon in there, I mean, it's not common for a Francese, but you can just cheat and get some of these like bacon bits and add like, you know, don't get the crispy kind that are like, that like go in the salad that are like crispy and fake bacony. Get this kind where it's like real crumbled bacon. It'll save time, it adds extra additional flavor, whatever you want to do there. But you don't need to do that at all. I just have it lying around. And if you want to, you can garnish it with a little bit of a lemon twist. Like remember when we did the lemon juice? Feel free to save some of the peel. And presto. Risotto Francese. Let's try this out. And there it is, Risotto Francese. Look at how nice this is. Oh, I love the way it clings together perfectly. It's creamy, it's cheesy, it's gonna be chickeny and lemony. Let's try it. I gotta tell you, I love Francese. I love it. It's like one of my favorite things with that lemon, buttery situation. This does not disappoint. It completely delivers on all levels. It has similarities to a carbonara in the sense where there's eggs and Parmesan in this. However, it's different enough that it's not quite as rich or heavy as a carbonara per se. There's no bacon in this, although like I said, you could add bacon bits. But the chicken, and like I said, if you want to add some shrimp at the end, add some shrimp at the end. It'll cook very quickly and perfectly at the same time as like the eggs are being added in there while you have it on saute and bubbling a little bit. So delicious. And it's so few ingredients really at Francese. This Francese was like less than 10 ingredients. And there were a few options in there on top of that. Can you ask for anything more? Who could ask for anything more? Who could ask for anything more? There we go. Thanks, Gershwin. You're good. You're good. It's very, very much a spring dish, that's for sure, and a summer dish. The flavors are just happiness. It equates happiness, sunshine. By the way, have you met my babies, my 3 kids? I have the orange one, the original step-by-step Instant Pot cookbook, which is one of the top-selling Instant Pot cookbooks of all time, I think, at this point. The blue one, which is the lighter step-by-step Instant Pot cookbook, if you want some great meals that are lighter, great, this is what you want. And then my most recent book, the yellow one, the Simple Comfort Step-by-Step Instant Pot cookbook, which is all comfort food, done right, all stuff you want to eat. I have, you know, look at it, a trio. It's a trio of children. I love you all. You can get them anywhere books are sold. Go to pressureluckcooking.com and check out all my online recipes. I have tons of them there, and all the social media channels at Pressure Luck Cooking on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Check me out there. Thanks again, guys, and next time you're looking for a risotto that tastes like sunshine, help yourself to some risotto Francese, but this one's all mine. Enjoy. Ooh, Banjo just got some off the floor of course. Banjo.